Raleigh Road closed. 2 people are in the hospital after a car crashed into a utility pole. How this could affect your morning commute and the progress being made on repairs.
Storms are possible for part of the viewing area today. I'll walk you through the timeline and show you who has the possibility of seeing some rain.
Higher costs for homeowners. Tonight, a new budget could raise your Wake County property taxes. How much more you could be paying next year.
We're following those stories, plus a look at your morning commute, all coming up at 8 on Fox 50 in about 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Your #1 source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good morning. It's great to have you with us. Let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner of the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Waking up to some rather cloudy skies this morning, Elizabeth.
We are, and just a very small chance for rain. We start with Dildoffer 5000 radar right here around Falls Lake. There's a sprinkle or two. Most people aren't going to see any rain this morning, but just a mention there. Here's the big picture. We have a cold front that'll drop southward and interact with some of this moisture, but the bulk of that moisture will be closer to the coast. So the best chance of seeing any showers or storms today will be south and east of the triangle, and even then, for our viewing area, it's only about a 30% chance. We take a live look at Durham right now. Lots of cloud cover, temperature 69, but our dew point's at 59, so it does feel fairly comfortable. It's going to be hotter this afternoon with highs in the upper 80s at around 87, but we'll cool off pretty nicely and again have a small chance for showers and thunderstorms. After that, we're dry all the way into at least Sunday. We'll talk about, of course, what we could see in terms of the big heat headed our way this weekend in just a bit. Chris?
Elizabeth, we're going to start out by taking you to kind of an interesting scene here, a sinkhole that's opened up on Yonkers Road near Raleigh Boulevard. Let's go ahead and show you that picture really quickly. There's a live look at it from photographer Michael Joyner, and you can see they've got it roped off. Thank goodness for that. There's been no major issues. Crews worked very quickly to get on that scene, but yeah, not something that we report on every day. One other thing we're tracking is on Glenwood Avenue near Whitaker Mill Road. Whitaker Mill Road is closed because of a crash that we've been following for hours. In fact, Ali Cadlebar has been out there in the breaking news tracker for hours. Let's see how things are progressing this morning.
In the past 10 minutes or so, Chris, we have seen that the light here on Glenwood Avenue is back up and going. It is as usual, working as usual. We are seeing traffic flowing as well. But you're going to notice that there's a lot of cones. You're going to want to still take it slow. We have a crew working as well. But to our right is where the real trouble spot is. This is West Whitaker Mill Road, and that's where we're seeing crews still working on replacing that utility pole, connecting those lines to it. Now, this mess started earlier this morning around 1:30. A car crashed into the utility pole. 2 people are in the hospital seriously hurt and knocked out power to hundreds of Duke Energy customers. That number has now gone down to 45 customers, and that power is expected to be restored around noon today. Now, I do want to add, though, that this intersection here, 5 Points intersection, recently in September, the city of Raleigh changed some of the signals, the pedestrian signals, as well as the traffic signals to improve safety at this intersection. Now, we are working to find out more information on that as well. We're working to find out when that West Whitaker Mill Road will be back open. But Chris, what do people need to know as they're heading out the door?
That's an interesting point you bring up. But yeah, as far as heading out anywhere else, there's no major concern on our major interstates, right? So I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road, we previously had a crash we were reporting on, but both the east and westbound lanes seem to be flowing pretty smoothly. This is a time of morning when you tend to see a little bit of congestion, and that's all we're seeing, at least from that vantage point. Nothing that's going to make you late coming in from Garner or from Knightdale. Nothing making you late coming in from Apex or Durham. Still about a 7-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest. That's US 1 southbound on Capitol Boulevard. That's a pretty typical thing to see this morning. We should see some improvements over the course of the next hour, at which point we'll keep you in the loop on 101.5 HD3 on the radio.
Chris, thanks. Well, happening today, the man accused of shooting and killing a Virginia sheriff's deputy will appear in a North Carolina courtroom. Law enforcement officers arrested Michael Puckett last night in Mount Airy after a days-long manhunt. Puckett is accused of shooting and killing a deputy in Carroll County, Virginia. This happened Friday evening. Law enforcement agencies all across Virginia and North Carolina spent the whole weekend searching for him. The SBI says Puckett was armed with a handgun when he was arrested. He's being held in the Surrey County Detention Center ahead of his hearing today. A Wake Met police officer facing kidnapping and assault charges scheduled to make his first court appearance today as well. An arrest warrant accuses 39-year-old Jerry Bone of kidnapping and terrorizing a woman. Investigators say he grabbed her by the arm and collar, held her at gunpoint with a rifle, and used a box cutter to cut through her shirt. He's also accused of taking her cell phone to prevent her from calling 911. Wake Met confirmed Bone was employed as a police officer and says he was suspended immediately after being arrested. Tonight, an increase to your Wake County property taxes could be approved. Local leaders are expected to make a final decision about the county budget. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's live outside the Wake County Justice Center, where commissioners will be meeting later today. And Kelsey, the average homeowner could pay about $90 extra in property taxes?
Yes, Ken, Wake County homeowners would see the impact of higher property taxes in 2027. Tonight, county leaders will be meeting here at the Wake County Justice Center to make their final decision. Wake County Manager David Ellis proposed a $2.3 billion budget. It comes with a 2-cent property tax increase. That would mean the average homeowner in Raleigh would pay $90 more. Earlier this month, Ellis called the upcoming fiscal year, quote, the most challenging one yet. He says without this extra revenue, the county would need to make significant cuts, including slashing funding for education, reducing operating hours, or scaling back program investments. Leaders are scheduled to make that vote tonight at 5 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
All right, the countdown is on for the puck drop, kicking off the Stanley Cup final. The Hurricanes will face off against the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow night at Lenovo Center in Game 1. Now, ahead of that Game 1, we're asking state leaders about the sky-high prices of Hurricanes tickets. As of this morning, only resale tickets are available on Ticketmaster. Most tickets for Game 1 are well over $1,000, even for seats in the highest sections. Tens of thousands of people got on the website over the weekend to try to get tickets. People we spoke with were shocked by the high prices.
In the queue, I was 38,152 yesterday when I tried to get tickets. Did finally get in, and the resale was like $1,400. So unfortunately, we're going to go to the watch party and cheer on the Hurricanes, hopefully for a victory.
Well, we reached out to Ticketmaster asking about how ticket prices are set and if bots were detected during the Canes sale. The company referred us back to the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, Hurricane CEO Brian Fork responded to WRAL saying the team has a 4-ticket limit per purchaser for each game and that they diligently monitor the sales process to ensure tickets are securely purchased by fans. We also reached out to the State Attorney General's office asking, has the AG's office received any complaints from fans about the ticket buying process? And is the AG's office currently looking into any of these complaints? We'll let you know what the AG's office has to say. Well, looking ahead to games 3 and 4 of the Stanley Cup final in Vegas, the Hurricanes announced the team will host watch parties for all road games at Lenovo Center. We'll share the details as they become available. Of course, count on WRAL for complete team coverage of the Stanley Cup final. Tomorrow we'll take you live at Lenovo Center, starting with our morning newscast. We'll be all over this story in our evening newscast as well. You can tune in for after the game, both on air and online. We've got you covered. There's also much more Carolina Hurricanes coverage on the WRAL YouTube page. We have a playlist of the team's run-up to the final. It includes post-game interviews, reaction from fans, and analysis from our sports team, all on the WRAL YouTube page. Well, starting today, some of the 18 American cruise ship passengers exposed to hantavirus will be allowed to return home, but they will still be under quarantine for the next 3 weeks. The state they live in will be required to post a police officer or public health worker outside their homes 24 hours a day during the remainder of the quarantine period. Right now, all the passengers are being quarantined at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. At least 2 of them have asked to finish their quarantine at home. We're coming up on 8:10 right now. Victims recovered. What comes next in the investigation of a tank explosion in Washington state that killed 11 people. Also, mental health awareness. PGA Tour winner and Raleigh native Grayson Murray was honored at the UNC Health Golf Championship. How the tournament is raising money for a good cause 2 years after Grayson Murray's death.
And our next weather maker is this cold front getting ready to cross North Carolina. It will bring some of us a few showers and thunderstorms. I'll let you know if it'll be you. 8:13, we'll start with dual Doppler 5000 radar. Probably can't see anything from the wide view, but we're going to zoom in right here to the triangle. See that little teeny tiny band of rain? It's kind of moving right over Falls Lake. There's another one of those that's right here in the southern part of Franklin County. So a teeny tiny shower you could run into this morning, but nothing significant. We do have this cold front that'll drop in and help to bring us a chance of some isolated storms, mainly in our southeastern counties later today. But even there, it's only a 30% chance. This is not going to be a big weather maker for us. We've been seeing some cloud cover. It looks like we're about to see the skies clear a bit there in Chapel Hill. Our temperatures have been comfortable this morning, 69 in Southern Pines, 69 in Durham, and 67 in Goldsboro right now. The soccer tournament ends today. It's been a fun run starting on Thursday. The championship games start at 6 o'clock. The doors open, gates, I should say, open at 4 o'clock. Still going to be on the warm side then, but our humidity should stay fairly low today, and the storms will be farther south. We're going to talk more about some big heat headed our way coming up. Chris?
And Elizabeth, in case those of you watching at home are just joining us, something we don't report on every day, a sinkhole on Yonkers Road near Raleigh Boulevard. Let's actually show you the live footage here from photographer Michael Joyner. He's been on the scene for probably the past hour or so. And thankfully, crews got there in very short time to block off that part of the road. But as he's zooming in, you can see that sinkhole right there on the double yellow. So thankfully, we haven't had any issues because of that. But if that's part of your morning commute, something to be mindful of. There are other things that you should be mindful of, and we're going to go over those coming up in the next 5 minutes.
Well, Chris, thanks. After a 5-day-long search, rescue crews have recovered all the bodies from a deadly plant implosion in Washington state. All 11 victims were recovered and identified at the Nippon Dinner Wave plant in Longview. They were killed after a chemical tank imploded. The search effort took several days after a corrosive chemical solution began spewing out of the tank. Investigators are now turning their attention to figuring out what went wrong. In Newark, New Jersey, a nightly curfew is in effect after protesters clashed with police over the last few days. Protests began after reports surfaced of inhumane conditions inside the Delaney Hall Immigration Detention Center. Homeland Security pushed back against the allegation, saying the detainees were well cared for. New Jersey Governor Michael Sherrill says DHS agreed to restore family visitation at the detention center. Over the weekend, the governor urged protesters to demonstrate peacefully and work together to turn the temperature down. Well, here in Raleigh, Alvaro Ortiz is the UNC Health Golf Champion after finishing atop the leaderboard Sunday. But before Ortiz hoisted the trophy, family and friends gathered on the 10th tee to remember Raleigh native Grayson Murray. The PGA Tour winner died 2 years ago by suicide. His impact on the game and the community remains strong. Murray's mother says the support shown continues to be a source of comfort for her family.
It just reinforces in my mind the support that Grayson had, especially, like I said, in the 919 area code. And he loved this town. He loved these people.
Well, everyone around the 10th tee observed a moment of silence before sharing memories of Murray's life and legacy. A portion of the proceeds from the tournament also went to the Grayson Murray Foundation, which supports mental health initiatives. Remember, help is available 24/7. If you or someone you know are experiencing mental health issues, you can call or text the Suicide or Crisis Lifeline. It's just 3 numbers, 988. You can also find county-by-county mental health support resources on WRAL.com. Nearly 1,700 athletes from all across the state spent the weekend competing in Raleigh, Cary, and Morrisville. Yesterday was the final day of the 2026 Special Olympics North Carolina Summer Games. The 3-day event featured 8 sports and plenty of memorable moments, showcasing determination, teamwork, and sportsmanship. congratulations to all the medal winners. Well, major cuts to North Carolina's healthcare industry could be just months away. President Trump's One Big Beautiful Act cut $1 trillion from Medicaid. Rural areas disproportionately rely on Medicaid, and North Carolina has the second biggest rural population in the country. The cuts are expected to siphon billions of dollars out of the state economy. They could lead to layoffs or even hospital closures, particularly in rural areas.
Why is it that we're like the underdog here of always fighting for rural health care when that's what the majority of our state actually is?
So what are state leaders doing to prepare? Our NC Capitol team interviewed several top officials on both sides of the aisle. More on what they're anticipating when these cuts hit and what solutions they're seeing moving forward. You can find that all on WRAL.com. Happening today, a new rule takes effect in Holly Springs that cracks down on e-bikes. The town council unanimously passed an ordinance regulating the use of e-bikes. It covers other electric personal travel devices as well. The ordinance emphasizes pedestrians have the right of way on sidewalks, side paths, and greenways, and that riders of electric-powered vehicles must alert others when they plan to pass. There will be fines for repeated violations, and police would have the authority to impound e-bikes that are being used in ways that violate that rule. A plan to reduce summer crime in Raleigh takes effect today. The Raleigh Police Department's 2026 Summer Action Plan aims to strengthen enforcement. This includes in key areas such as nightlife districts, transportation hubs, and parks. It comes after a string of incidents downtown, including the recent shooting outside the courthouse. Well, a diver found a giant tooth from a Greek creature that lived millions of years ago off the coast of Carolina Beach. Well, take a look at this. It's a fossilized megalodon shark tooth measuring nearly 7 inches. It was discovered by Sandra Klopp. Klopp has spent more than 20 years exploring the ocean floor, and this marks the biggest discovery of her career. Megalodon went extinct roughly 3 to 5 million years ago. They could grow more than 50 feet long. Klopp says she was thrilled when she spotted the tooth.
It was a beautiful, clear day with great visibility, and I saw it from a few feet away, and I could tell things look bigger underwater. They're magnified, and it looked absolutely huge. And I took it and I put it on. I have a measuring stick on one of my catch bags, and it showed it was close to 7 inches.
Ah, what a find. The largest megalodon tooth recorded was found off the coast of South America and measures just over 7 inches. Wow, that's incredible. Let's go over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner of the W Severe Weather Center. You're tracking a cloudy morning that could give way to showers depending on where you are.
Yeah, exactly. So south and east of the triangle is where we'll have the best chance of seeing some isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. It is gray right now as we take a look down Fayetteville Street from our Jimmy V camera. We're not seeing any rain here at the moment, but there are a few showers out currently. 69 is the temperature. Our dew point's 59, which is nice and comfortable. That's a fairly low dew point for this time of year. We take a look at the big picture, dual Doppler 5000 radar. A couple of tiny little showers here in Wake County and then moving out of Franklin County into Nash County. It's not much, but again, teeny little shower that just moved right across Falls Lake. And then another one that is just going to produce a brief shower there in the southern part of Nash County. Could see a bit more of that. We do have the cold front that'll slip southward. The best chance of rain will be closer to the coast where this low is. You can see some rain associated with it. So there's some moisture flowing inland there. That cold front will interact with it. But you can see what happens. We're cloudy now, but we may end up seeing a bit more sunshine closer to lunchtime. At noon, it's pretty quiet. And then right after that, a couple of isolated shower cells begin to pop up across the area, but especially in our southern counties. So we couldn't rule it out elsewhere, but that's most likely where we'll see it. Mid to late week, we'll see a low that develops offshore. And the biggest threat from that is going to be rip current danger, potentially lingering into the weekend. So if you're headed to the beaches this weekend, you need to be especially careful. There were dozens of rip current rescues over Memorial Day weekend. So just always be careful as you're headed to the beaches. Between now and Friday, this is really our only day where we're expecting any measurable rain. And again, most of that's going to be south and east of the triangle with about 1/4 inch in Fayetteville over the next 5 to 7 days. This is no shock. The driest year to date at RDU, we're looking at 8.3 inches. That's what we've seen so far this year. That's a deficit, though, of 9 inches for the year, which is, just still still a long way to go to get out of the drought. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty day, 78 degrees. A lot of folks will be headed out to the Lenovo Center to tailgate for the Canes game, and the weather looks great for that, Chris.
And Elizabeth, as you're heading out this morning, if Yonkers Road is part of your commute, watch out for this sinkhole. This is footage that we've been bringing you all morning long. This is live, thanks to photographer Michael Joyner. You can see, thankfully, that road is blocked off. So no major issues in terms of any injuries or anything like that, but not something that we report on every day as you see him zooming into that sinkhole there. Crazy stuff. We first found out about it because of viewers like you. Thanks to Jerry Smith, by the way, who sent us that tip on WRAL.com/report it. One new crash that we're following that's causing some pretty significant backups there. This is US 1 just before New Hill Holloman Road as you're heading toward Raleigh near Harris Lake. So we'll keep tabs on that. And we're also keeping tabs on the crash that has some delays at 5 points. Whitaker Mill Road currently closed and power being restored. Ken?
Chris, thanks. Saving at the grocery store. You may be out overpaying for your staples and not even know it. 5 Inside shows the grocery chains with the best deals coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning, I'm Ken Smith. For those of you having your cup of joe with us, we appreciate that. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Weather Center, tracking a cloudy morning, Elizabeth.
We are, and we're going to start with dual Doppler 5000 radar. A couple tiny little showers have popped up. One moved across Falls Lake, and another is moving into the southern part of Nash County. So not really much rain out there, and there's not going to be. We have this cold front that'll be dropping in on us. It's going to bring us a chance of some isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms in our southeastern counties, but it's only a 30% chance. We take a look at Apex this morning. You can see it looks cloudy there. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, 70 in Southern Pines, 69 in Durham and in Rocky Mount. And your dog walking forecast heats up middle of the afternoon into the upper 80s. Chris?
Elizabeth, we're going to take you to a crash in the very western tip of Wake County. This is US 1 northbound. Before you get to New Hill Holloman Road, you can see the backups there in the red, stretching all the way back to the Chatham County line. So if you're coming in from places like Moncure or Sanford, that's one of those things you may just have to budget into your time this morning. If you're coming in from Apex, there's no delay. Coming in from Durham, there's a 5-minute delay. Nothing that's going to make you late, however, if you're coming into Raleigh from Wake Forest, Nightdale, or from Garner early this Monday morning.
Hi, Chris, thanks. Part of the intersection of the 5 Points area shut down after an overnight crash. This happened at Glenwood Avenue and West Whitaker Mill Road. Police say a car crashed into a utility pole, knocking out power to some neighbors. The 2 people were taken to an area hospital with serious injuries. Happening today, Wake County commissioners are set to vote on a new budget for the upcoming fiscal year. The proposal includes a 2-cent property tax increase, which could end up costing homeowners an extra $90 a year. Today's vote is set to happen at 5 this afternoon. More news and weather coming up on Fox 50. A Raleigh road closed. 2 people are in the hospital after a car crashed into a utility pole. How this could affect your morning commute and the progress being made on repairs.
Storms are possible for part of the viewing area today. I'll walk you through the timeline and show you who has the possibility of seeing some rain.
Higher costs for homeowners tonight. A new budget could raise your Wake County property taxes. How much more you could be paying next year.
We got a lot to get to here in the 8:30 half hour on Fox 50. We always appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking a rather cloudy morning.
We are, and even a couple of sprinkles out there. We start with the big picture. They're so tiny, they're hard to pick up on the wide view, but we'll zoom in. You can see this little shower pretty much dissipating, and another one that just moved out of Franklin County into Nash County, dissipating. These are just tiny little cells. I mean, just a quick little sprinkle. But later on this afternoon, this cold front will dip southward and could bring a few more isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly to our south and eastern counties. Even there, it's only a 30% chance, so this is not going to be a big rainmaker for us. We take a look from our Jimmy V camera down Fayetteville Street, and you can definitely see a lot of cloud cover. Our dew point just crept up a little bit to 60. That's still pretty comfortable, and our temperature is sitting at 70 right now. Isolated storms later on this afternoon, south and east of the Triangle, and it will be warm with temperatures in the upper 80s. We'll talk about temperatures on a roller coaster ride to start June coming up in just a bit. Chris?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, something we've brought to you over the past hour is this sinkhole on Yonkers Road near Raleigh Boulevard. We've had a crew on scene since the beginning, or since we heard about this. And you can see, thankfully, Yonkers Road is closed off, so you don't have any risk of running into that sinkhole. But there you see as photographer Michael Joyner zooms into the view there, and it opened up right over the double yellows. Elsewhere in Raleigh, right by 5 Points, you've got that intersection there that's been having some trouble over the morning. The traffic light at one point was out. West Whitaker Mill Road was closed. Alley Cattle Bar has been there for hours. And Alley, I understand you've got some new information this morning.
Yeah, Raleigh police just getting back with us within the past 10 minutes with an update saying that the preliminary investigation indicates that the driver was going at a high rate of speed here. They hit that utility pole. Well, not that one. That one is the replaced one. They did crash into a utility pole and knocked it down, and it split. It was hanging on there for a few hours. We do want to take you to that crash earlier this morning around 1:15. Now, we know that 2 people were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. It knocked out power for hundreds of Duke Energy customers for a couple of hours. That number is now reduced to about 45 customers. The estimated restoration time is noon. We did just hear from Raleigh police that it could take till 2 p.m. for West Whitaker Mill Road to reopen. As for Glenwood Avenue here, traffic is flowing as normal. Now, there are cones, there are people directing traffic, so you are going to want to take it slow, but the light is now working, so the traffic is flowing normal. But Chris, what do people need to know about any other incidents that are happening as they make their morning commute?
Yeah, and Allie, one of those incidents is on US 1 northbound. Before you get to New Hill Holloman Road, this is right on the Chatham and Wake County line, and you can see the backups back toward the Chatham County line. You see Harris Lake right there. So if you're coming in from Sanford and Moncure, that's 2 of the places that you may run into some trouble. Outside of that, there's really no trouble spots. Nothing that's making you terribly late coming into downtown Raleigh, whether that's from Apex or Garner, Knightdale or Wake Forest, or from Durham. So far this morning, we'll keep you posted on 101.5 HD3 on the radio.
Chris, thanks. Well, happening today, the man accused of shooting and killing a Virginia sheriff's deputy will appear in a North Carolina courtroom. Michael Puckett was arrested last night in Mount Airy after a days-long manhunt. Puckett is accused of shooting and killing a deputy in Carroll County, Virginia. This happened Friday evening. Law enforcement agencies across Virginia and North Carolina spent the whole weekend searching for Puckett. The SBI says he was armed with a handgun when he was arrested. He's being held in the Surrey County Detention Center ahead of his court hearing today. Tonight, an increase to your Wake County property taxes could be approved. The Wake County Board of Commissioners are expected to make a final decision about the county budget. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's live outside the Wake County Justice Center, where commissioners will be meeting tonight. And walk us through what we can expect, Kelsey.
Yes, Ken, Wake County homeowners should expect to see an increase, or could expect to see an increase in their property taxes in 2027. Tonight, county leaders will be meeting here inside the Wake County Justice Center to make their final decision. Wake County Manager David Ellis proposed a $2.3 billion budget. It comes with a 2-cent property tax increase. So that would mean the average homeowner in Raleigh would pay $90 more. Earlier this month, Ellis called the upcoming fiscal year, quote, the most challenging one yet. He says without the extra revenue, the county would need to make significant cuts, including slashing funding for education, reducing operating hours, or scaling back program investments. Leaders are expected to make their final vote tonight at 5 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Also today, Raleigh City Council will meet to discuss the city's budget proposal for next year as well. The plan closes a $13 million budget gap. It includes a proposed 1.7% increase in property taxes. That's about a $67 a year increase for the average homeowner. Investments include public safety, affordable housing, transportation improvements, and continued free downtown parking. The council meets today at 4. They'll hold a public hearing on the budget tomorrow evening starting at 7. Well, the countdown is on for the start of the Stanley Cup Final. The Hurricanes will face the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow night at Lenovo Center in Game 1. As excitement for the game grows, so does the frustration about ticket prices. As of this morning, only resale tickets are available on Ticketmaster. Most tickets for Game 1 are well over $1,000, even for seats in the highest sections. When we asked about bots and how ticket resales are monitored, Ticketmaster told us they're shutting down 20 billion dots a month. Hurricane CEO Brian Falk told WRAL there's a 4-ticket limit per purchaser for each game, and they diligently monitor the sales process to ensure tickets are securely purchased by fans. Now, tens of thousands of people got on the website over the weekend trying to get their hands on some tickets. People we spoke with were shocked by the high prices.
The organization, the Hurricanes organization as a whole, I think it's irresponsible of them to not make that more accessible to working class families in the Triangle. Sports should be bringing people together. They're not something that only the wealthy can afford.
Up to the state attorney general's office asking, has the AG's office received any complaints from fans about the ticket buying process? And is the AG's office currently looking into any of those complaints? We'll let you know what the AG's office says. Well, here's the full schedule for the Stanley Cup Final. The first 2 games will be at Lenovo Center tomorrow and Thursday. Then the teams will travel to Las Vegas, where the Golden Knights will have home ice for games 3 and 4. The Canes posted on X they'll host watch parties for all road games for the Stanley Cup Final at Lenovo Center. If the series continues after those first 4 games, it could all come down to a Game 7 at Lenovo Center Wednesday, June 17th. Circle that on your calendar. Well, downtown Raleigh will also host official hurricane watch parties in Moore Square for Game 1 tomorrow night and Game 2 on Thursday. The events begin at 7 in the evening. Fans are encouraged to wear red and cheer on the Canes in their quest for the Stanley Cup. Of course, you can count on WRAL for complete team coverage of the Stanley Cup Final. Tomorrow, we'll take you live at Lenovo Center, starting with our morning news. We'll be all over this story during our evening news, as well as after the game, both on air and online. There's also much more Carolina Hurricanes coverage on the WRAL YouTube page. We have a playlist of the team's run-up to the final. It includes post-game interviews, reaction from fans, and analysis from all our sports guys. That's all on the YouTube page. Well, a person is recovering in the hospital this morning after a shooting in Fayetteville. The WRAL breaking news tracker was at that scene last night on Cowan Street as investigators gathered evidence. Authorities say one person was shot but is expected to recover. So far, there's no word on any arrests. This is an ongoing investigation. Firefighters are investigating after a house fire in Raleigh. This is video from the WRAL breaking news track around 9 last night on Gorman Street. The fire was put out and no one was hurt. The cause of that fire remains under investigation.
Here in the WRAL Live Center, Ken, right now we're seeing an update regarding the case of the man who's accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk last September. So today there's going to be a key decision that's made. The judge essentially will have to decide if there is going to be restricted access to this preliminary hearing that will be happening. Essentially what the prosecution is doing during this time period next month is they're going to be figuring out whether they have enough evidence to take this to trial and kind of talk a little bit more about this. This is the suspect right here, Tyler Robinson. But in terms of what's going to be discussed during that hearing, well, the prosecution again will be bringing up the evidence they have. But Robinson's lawyers have argued several things. One, that there should be limited items that are introduced into evidence during that time because, as they say, this could taint the jury pool. But also, they are claiming that there has been media coverage that misrepresents their client. Previously, they've tried to even protect him from coverage. And if you've been following this case, you know that the death penalty is being sought.
NC State is moving forward with plans to tear down Poe Hall starting this week. Fencing will go up around that building as crews prepare for demolition. This comes after years of concerns about toxic PCB contamination found inside that building. The university says it received EPA approval for the plan. Poe Hall will be replaced with a new home for the College of Education on the campus of NC State. WRAL's 5 on your side, investigating contamination at Poe Hall since 2023. You can find our extensive coverage on our WRAL YouTube page, including interviews with people who were diagnosed with cancer after working or studying in Poe Hall. Just search Poe Hall. Well, top now 8:41. Coming up, an urgent need for blood. As summer activities ramp up, so does the demand for a life-saving resource, while local Red Cross officials say a small act can make a big difference. Also, grocery store savings. You may be overpaying for your grocery staples and not even know it. 5 on your side shares the grocery chains with the best deals and where you could end up spending more.
We're starting off with gray skies this morning. And even though it's gray, we're still not looking at very much rain today. I'll explain why and who could see at least some. 8:44, gray skies across a lot of the region this morning. We'll start with dual Doppler 5000 radar and zoom in right here in eastern Wake County. Notice over just to the west of Zebulon, tiny little shower popped up. Another one in the southern part of Nash County, and another sort of popping up over closer to the airport. Nothing much out there. Most of us aren't going to see this. If you do see it, it's just going to be a quick little shower. Now, later this afternoon, this cold front sinks southward and interacts with some of that moisture that's sitting just offshore. So our southeastern counties could have a few more isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, but even then, it's just a 30% chance. We take a live look at Apex right now, and it's pretty gray out there. Temperatures anywhere from the mid-60s at Roanoke Rapids to 70 in Raleigh and in Southern Pines, as well as Goldsboro, starting to warm up just a little bit. Last day of the soccer tournament, the championship round starts at 6 o'clock. They open the gates at 87 degrees at that point, but it will cool off nicely later on. And we'll talk more about some hot conditions that are headed our way later in the week. Chris?
And Elizabeth, you know how we've been talking about this sinkhole on Yonkers Road. Michael Joyner, our photographer, got the drone up, and so you have a bird's eye view of that sinkhole and the how it's roped off. Crews got on there very soon and very quickly, so thankfully that has not caused any major issues to people. It's just causing issues on the road there. Aside from that, the one other thing that we're tracking is a crash on US 1 northbound. That's just before New Hill Holloman Road, causing some backups toward the Chatham County line. Aside from that, no major delays heading into downtown Raleigh or downtown Durham.
Chris, thanks. Well, 5 on Your Side is all about saving you money on groceries, and it's a great place to start, right? That's why Keely Arthur is breaking down the cheapest grocery chains and the stores where prices are much higher than you might expect.
Consumer Reports and 5 on Your Side tested grocery staples, everything from meat, produce, and frozen items. And the price gap was pretty stunning between the highest and lowest priced grocery stores. Sometimes the very same item cost 33% more. And when you add in club warehouses and specialty grocery stores, that gap grew even larger.
So where should you shop to save big? According to Consumer Reports investigation, warehouse clubs like Costco and BJ's often come out on top among the cheapest, usually about 20% less than Walmart. Discount chains like Aldi and Lidl are also among the most affordable options. Stores like Whole Foods and in some areas, even Trader Joe's can run 25 to nearly 40% higher than Walmart. But Consumer Reports says it is still possible to save a cartload of money with a little strategic planning.
Don't rely on just one store. Mixing trips between discount chains and traditional supermarkets, or buying some items in bulk while picking up specialty items elsewhere can really help you save.
Loyalty programs can also help you save, especially if you use the store's app to unlock digital deals. Before you head to the store, take stock of what you already have.
To see where your favorite grocery store stacked up, we have the full list up on our website, WRAL.com/5 on Your Side. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
A substance that's crowding emergency rooms in other states showing up in the drug supply in our area. It's the focus of a WRAL investigation airing tonight. Scientists warn the withdrawal symptoms can be deadly. Tonight on WRAL News at 6, Heidi Kirk shows us how the hidden drug is already causing concerns in other states and what experts say needs to happen now to keep it from becoming a bigger issue here at home. Passing to share with you now. The Raleigh community will gather later this morning to remember longtime dentist and Navy veteran Dr. Henry Zaytoon. He was featured in our newscasts back in 2024 on Election Day, At 100 years old at the time, his family said he had not missed an election since he was eligible to vote, dating back to the 1940s. Dr. Zaytoun was 102 years old when he passed away on Memorial Day. A funeral mass is happening later this morning at Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church in Raleigh. Well, some abandoned factories that once powered local economies are finding a new purpose in the world of AI data centers. A yarn factory in Madison, North Carolina, once employed 250 people. It was eventually forced to close and has sat empty for years. White Fiber CEO Sam Tabor recently bought the site for $45 million. He believes taking over abandoned sites already on the power grid and retrofitting them helps them not take over water and power from the community or drive up utility bills. He's also promising more than 60 new jobs. The change is raising questions in the community, though.
We showed them that we're using much less water than the existing facility. The noise coming out of the facility is dramatically less than it was when it was a textile factory. We're showing how many jobs were done. So for us, the retrofit approach really solves a lot of the community resistance that normally pops up when you're starting from scratch.
Tabor says there are dozens more sites across the country, all waiting to be claimed and transformed. Well, the American Red Cross urging you to go out and donate blood. The Red Cross says there's an increase in serious injuries between Memorial Day and Labor Day, including a 30% increase in teen-involved deadly crashes. They say 90% of their blood donations come from scheduled donations, but less people are showing up, hurting their supply. The executive director of the Red Cross Greater Triangle Area Chapter says if you're unsure about donating blood, it's easier than you might think.
It's really simple. It takes less than an hour. The most difficult part is probably right when you sit down, but otherwise, it's a great experience.
To learn more about how you can donate or sign up to give blood, head to our website, WRAL.com, and look for this story by searching Red Cross. Well, let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. You're waking up to a cloudy day. Now, are those clouds going to squeeze out any rain?
Probably in some of our southeastern counties. One of the things that tends to squeeze out a lot of rain is a tropical system. And of course, the hurricane season begins today. I can't believe it is already June the 1st. Sometimes we see storms develop in May. We haven't seen any develop in May, but because of that, the Hurricane Center tends to start the tropical outlooks in the middle of May. And actually, the Pacific season does start in the middle of May. There are a couple of areas that they're watching for some development, but the Pacific and the Atlantic basins are completely different, and there's nothing happening right now in the Atlantic basin. If we do see something develop this time of year, it's usually close to the coast, so off the southeast coast or around the Gulf here. Those are our usual spots for development. We did our own tropical season forecast here at WRAL, and we're looking like some of the others at maybe a less active season than normal. 11 to 14 named storms. The average is 15. 5 to 7 of those could be hurricanes with an average of 7, and 2 to 3 might become major hurricanes, and the average is 4. One of the reasons that we're looking at a less active season is a strong El Nino developing. El Nino means typically stronger winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere that can tear apart the tops of the storms and not allow them to develop. But we'll have a close eye on that season all the way through the end of November. Heading down Fayetteville Street, looking at our Jimmy V camera, lots of cloud cover out there. It is 70 with a dew point at 60, so it's pretty comfortable out there. We're warming on up into the upper 60s to low 70s across the triangle right now. We're still running about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. It'll be a bit warmer this afternoon too, with highs in the mid to upper 80s this afternoon and a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly in our southeastern counties. It's only about a 30% chance, so this is not going to be a big rainmaker for us. A little bit more moisture closer to the coast and near the South Carolina line, but that doesn't last long. This high pressure system builds in and pushes that well to the south, making up for a beautiful day tomorrow, and that'll last at least through Thursday. We're going to see that dew point dropping nicely, making it feel very, very comfortable. If you're headed out to the Stanley Cup final, the first game tomorrow night, it's going to be really, really nice for tailgating. We'll be right back with your top stories.